Well, in the last video on this GMC Envoy, we were trying to tackle the problem of this right here. My little pinky. This is the steering wheel. Look at this. You can move it. And when you're driving, you hear the clunk, 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 clunk and all that. And you can see, you can even hear it. And I thought it was up here, but if you just, when you're driving, that's a lot of play. So we thought we would have this fixed by I thought we could have it fixed just by ordering the upper steering shaft on this Envoy. We stuck this in here in the last video and it didn't make a bit of difference, so I just put the old one back in and keeping this in a box. Now, turns out the problem is actually in the lower steering shaft. This is down where the rack and pinion goes. Now, when I looked at the old one, I've already had it out, and we'll pull it back out and I'll show you because I had to put it back together to have something to drive. This part goes down on the rack and pinion. Well, mine is wore out, which I'll show you here in a little bit. And you can see this one's not wore out. So even with this bolt is tight, this thing would have just a little bit of slop in the bottom of the steering, and it goes through the steering wheel. So we're going to put this in here today and see if that takes care of it. It should, but this one here looks like it's in a lot better shape than the one that is currently on the vehicle. So we'll go ahead and get this wheel off. It makes it a little bit easier to get in there. And also we got to kind of push this boot back underneath here. We don't really have to take the panel off or anything up under here because we can push this out from the inside. We can get this up far enough and get the other boot off that covers up the piece that we have to replace, slide it off. We can get a socket on there and take it off. So that's what we're going to do. And that's why hopefully you're here watching my video, Fixing with Passion. Alright, to make this job a little bit easier, you take the wheel off, jack it up, put a secure jack under there, all that. And right here, get this wiring harness out of the way, just kind of pull this off the frame. Because what we have to do, we've got to pull this boot here back like this off of this piece there. And we're going to shove this back in. And all you got to do to shove this back in is use probably both hands. I don't know if I can do it with one hand or not. But if you start it right like that, you see that crack right there? I've already got it started. Push all this back in there, get this completely out of the way for now. So let me do that off camera real quick. I think you can kind of see what the idea here is. Gonna push this back up like this. And what this will do, this will allow us to get this nut here off. There's a nut, well actually you just take this bolt straight out because it's got a self-locking nut on this side. Just take this out and this will let us to push this shaft back up the side, get this out of the way so we can actually get this boot here off. It's right here on the bottom where this is the shaft that we have to replace. Now before you do all this, make sure you go up here and turn your steering wheel as straight as you can. Put a bungee cord around the mirror so you don't have any problems with your steering wheel going and breaking your clock spring and all that good stuff, or bad stuff. So let me go ahead and get the rest of that up in there and we'll go ahead and break this bolt loose. I think this is a 15 here on that. But before we do that, let me go ahead and see if you can see this here. You can see we get this all the way up in here. Push this up as far as it'll go. There we go. That's about as far as it'll go. You can see it's up in here, so that should be okay just like that. All right, now this boot sometimes is a little bit of a struggle to get off, so I've taken a pry bar like this. I'll kind of grab underneath of it there a little bit, try to get a bite on it and hold the back side and kind of, there we go, pop it off because there's a metal ring on the bottom here that kind of keeps it on the bottom of that there. See that on the bottom right there? So that's ready to come off. So all we gotta do is take this nut off, and I've already got my steering wheel secure, so let's get this nut off. All right, let's go ahead and get this off here. All right. Well, once we get this off, then all we have to do is slide this up in there. Of course, it's going to take me longer than I wanted to get this off. There we go. And yeah, my bungee cord is still on the steering wheel, so we don't have no problems there. This is actually a 15. I thought it was a 14, but it's a 15 bolt. Now we should be able to just slide this up out of here, wiggle it enough. There we go. Just push it straight up like that. And now we have all the room to get this thing off. Of course, there we go. I thought I popped it back on there. And that is that. See, the bottom of this has a metal ring in here, so you have to really work it. At least there was a metal ring on there. Maybe there's not, but there's a groove in there. Anyway, that's off, and here's the piece that we gotta take off. If you look on the, well, you can't see. When I take it off, I'll show you, but there's a nut on the back side that we have to take off, and the way we get to that is, and now the way to get to that nut is right up here on the top. I got a flashlight shining down there. See that right there? Right there, that little nut. Gotta put a little 15 on it. We can break it loose from up here, and we can take this steering shaft straight out. So let me go ahead and get that out of there real quick. All right, I tightened that down with brute force, that's for sure. Now I think I can just grab that, twist it off from my hand. There we go, slowly. Of course, nothing is going to be easy. I'll have to put my ratchet back in there and finish the job. That's what she said. Come on. Oh dear. Come on. It'll make me fight it all the way. There we go. We just about got. Maybe I'll cue some music. I don't know. I think we got it that time. I think you can see it sticking out. And there it is. And now we can just slide that shaft off. We'll go inside and take it off from this direction here. Gives you a better look at it. And just kind of note how it comes off, you know, like that. And it can only go on one way, so the bolt goes up on the top like that, and goes down like that. So here's what I wanted to show you. See the inside of this? I'll have to let the camera focus a little bit, but both sides of that is wore out, and I don't think you can see it, but I'll put a couple of pictures up on from my phone and show you. And no matter how tight you get this, you know, it wouldn't tighten down, but this is okay. I mean, the universal part's fine. So, all right, so there is that. Let me get the other one here, wherever it's at. Let's match them up. Make sure they're the same. Trailblazer, Envoy. This has got the same part number on it as the one I bought. So, it goes like that. And it goes like that. I don't know if you can even see this one, but this one doesn't have any wear on the inside. So, at least that's us. I'm hoping. I mean, that's the only other thing it could be, unless it's in the rack and pinion. But I put a pair of vice grips on the rack and pinion, and it had no play in it whatsoever. And it seemed to be in this. All right, let's go ahead and put this on. All right, so let's get this one on. See if I can get it fairly straight. There we go. All right, that's in. So I think we'll go ahead and put the bolt in on the back side for now. All right, that's tight. Get my ratchet back off there. So it wasn't too bad. So that's on. That's lined up. Now we got to tighten this down. I got the boot on there, and we'll tighten this down, and we'll see. I hope this takes care of the problem. If it does, I'll be tickled pink. If not, it's probably going to rack and pinion, but I don't think it's in a rack and pinion. So let me tighten this down. We'll check it and see. All right, guys, that's tight. I hope that takes care of it. Let's see. I still have a little bit of play-o left to right. I'll bet you anything that rack and pinion, that shaft that goes down that rack and pinion, that bearing, there's a side-to-side play there. I bet you that's where that's at. Let's go inside and see what we got. All right, let's get this stuff out of the way. I'll take my little pinky here and see. No, there's still play in it. About the same. So what I've done the last two tries here has not fixed anything. So it's in that rack and pinion. So the point of this video is, if you have a little bit of play like it in your steering wheel and you're trying to get rid of it, check your rack and pinion first. And the best thing to do is take all this back off, get you a little pair of vice grips, and just grip on that piece that comes up out of the steering rack and pinion. And or just grab it like this. If you have any side-to-side play like that, I don't know if you can see that. But that bearing going down into the rack and pinion is wore out. That's exactly what it is. Well, we tried anyway, so maybe this will help you out and keep you from beating up your head. You can probably hear that. You can probably even see it there moving a little bit. Anyway, looks like we'll be putting a rack and pinion in. It's not too bad to do a lot of videos on YouTube, but I like driving this thing, and I really wanted to get it in tip-top shape, but that's really a shame. Anyway, we tried. So, hopefully you enjoyed this video. And when I get ready to do the rack and pinion part, I'll put that in. I'll do a video on it. If you want to see it, let me know. If not, I won't bother uploading it because there's a lot of videos on this and probably not much content here. But if you want to know the end results after I put one on here, rack and pinion, if that slop went away in the steering wheel, let me know. Leave a comment in the comment section. Until my next video, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you later.